automotive companies that got no problem. But everybody that comes down that line is not going to be a multitude. She will look, I believe, I know because I've seen her work for 8 years. She will look at each person individually and look at each parent individually and look to see how she can help solve those problems with an eye towards also keeping our society safe, keeping the public safe, and also making victims whole so we have a restorative justice aspect to it as well. So I think on balance the news is good in terms of the specific work that we do, but there's an enormous amount of work to do.
One of the things that I feel strongly about in the community from Fall River, Springfield, the great organizations, the Boys and Girls Clubs, the youth builds, this programs like that.
Right.
You as a judge, and I'm just asking because I'm curious, I'm interested, and it's relative to, get out there and talk to the kids in the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Yes.
Talk to the youth in some of the middle schools, because I think, once again, judges have such an opportunity to see what goes on day in and day out. Do you get a chance to do that at all?
Yes. However, not as much as I should. And I think that there's been a trend, and maybe Council America may concur with me here, there's been a trend where judges have become so cloaked that we're afraid to do anything like that. Because and it's not a good idea, because I agree with you.
I think you could. I think you could, and I think you could get into routines and habits and so forth, but I think you can have an absolute opportunity to impact kids.
I totally agree.
Sharing some of the experiences.
This on February 10th for the 3rd year in a row, and I'd like the opportunity to be able to do more of this. In Hampden, there's going to be a moot court competition with 2 classes of 5th graders, and they're going to be presenting a case. It'll be open to the public. There'll be a table of prosecutors and defense counsel. There'll be the jury, and it's based on a novel, sort of a romantic fairy tale novel about a murder trial. The kids all get dressed up in period costume, and it's absolutely, and they're excellent. They're better than I was in law school. I mean, they're hearsay objections and all that. They're really, really great. That's the sort of thing I think that the courts can do more of. I concur with you, Joel.
I agree, and I think the kids who didn't get chosen to move for are the ones who probably should get out there and chat with them. They're the ones you're going to see probably in a few years. But thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Ms. Collins, thank you very much. I've known you for a long time, and your endorsement of the law is something that's important and very meaningful.
It's a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Detective Bob.
Morning, councilors. Never appeared before this council before, so in my wisdom, I called a dear friend of mine who just happened to be a retired juvenile judge. The suggestion was that I be brief and honest. Well, I can be honest, and I'll try to be brief.
Who do you call?
My name is Henry Bach. I'm a retired 40-year veteran of the Springfield Police Department. Actually, it was 39 years, 9 months, and 9 days. I was assigned to the youth aid bureau, which dealt mainly with juvenile problems and delinquencies. I was assigned in the last 8 years of my service as the liaison for the Springfield Police Department to the juvenile court. And I became acquainted with at that time, attorney Lois Eaton. And her reputation among the court personnel, the officers of court, the judges, and everybody that worked in the court was that they held her in very high esteem. I had the opportunity when she became an assistant clerk of the juvenile court to work with her on a daily basis. I was very impressed with a lot of things that she did. When she made the appointment, I went to this judge again, who was at that time still a judge, and I asked him his opinion of the appointment of Attorney Eaton to the clerkship. Praise was one of he said that any time she appeared before him, she was well prepared, had a great knowledge of the criminal justice system, especially pertaining to juveniles and that court. He paid high praise, and he still to this day, even at that conversation last week, and I think she's a wonderful person for the consideration for dealt with her on a daily basis, and I observed how she handled herself with people, irate parents of victims and the victims. And her advice and counsel explaining what the court could and would do for her satisfied me, calmed me. I saw her deal with, in magistrate hearings, with the indignant, defiant accused. Her demeanor commanded respect, and I saw this defiance change from attention and respect for this person during these hearings. When I came before her at juvenile court with the show cause hearing, I always went well prepared because I knew that her decision would be based on the evidence that I presented to her, or lack of. It would be unbiased, and it would be fair. Plus, she exacted the law. Everything had to be within the law. Sometimes I never disagreed with her decisions because I knew they were fair. And it wasn't because I lost the case. Maybe it's because I didn't present the proper evidence. But sometimes she would show compassion to some people that maybe she saw something in them that they could be redeemed, be saved. And I don't recall anybody coming back for a second bite of the apple after she continued without finding and gave this child a break. I knew she was always going to be fair. To sum it up, anybody in the court, the probation office, the staff, support staff of the probation, the district attorneys, which I dealt with and prepared